Hey, high achiever. I know you care deeply about goals, performance, and accomplishments, but you might feel stuck sometimes. And that's where I come in. My name is Charlene Jefferson, and I am a certified high performance coach, here to guide you as you create intentional habits and routines that will get you to the next level. Whether you want to grow in your career, business, relationships, health, or hobbies, I'll help you propel your goals forward through the habit of living. Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of The Habit of Living with me, your host, Charlene Jefferson. I am thrilled that you're here with me because today, this episode is going to focus on why I became a high performance coach. So during this episode, we're going to learn about one, not just what high performance is, but how it has benefited me and my life, my career, and my business, but more importantly, how it can also benefit you. We'll also talk about how to identify when you need expert help, when you need a coach, when you need to reach out and really have someone give you the expertise and the knowledge and know-how that you currently do not have, and when and how to take action. I'll also talk about if you feel that that is you and you need one-on-one help, I'll talk about how you and I can partner together. So let's jump into the episode. Why did I become a high performance coach? Well, ultimately, when I just think about, who I am and what helped to create me and shape my life right now. And I really would say it was my upbringing, right? My background, how I grew up. I grew up in farm life and I got to experience some really neat things. I got to see, livestock, cows, chicken, ducks. I got to see crops like tobacco and corn and peas. I got to take part in planting some of these things and then harvesting them and also eating them. And what I took away from that now, just kind of looking back, is that how just a small little seed planted in the darkness with the right nutrients, the right light, the right environment, how it can grow into something of great value, substance, and worth. And I feel that you and I as humans are no different. I just feel like sometimes we've been distracted, with all the things going on in the world, whether that be the pandemic and other things coming up, life, politics, you name it. All of those distractions have prevented us and caused a great pause in us reaching our full potential. So when I think about, how, that's shaped my life, right? My upbringing, I really quickly, when I was growing up, I was like, I'm going to be a career woman. I'm going to climb the corporate ladder. I'm going to, reach the highest status that I can possibly reach. And so when I went to college, I wanted to be an accountant. I thought, well, great. If I get an accountant degree, I'll get to learn the ins and out of the business, right? I get to see the assets and the liabilities and, just how the money works in businesses. And then furthering my education with my master's of business administration would also help with that. Well, in this corporate ladder climb, I got to tell you, it was fun until it wasn't. Like I worked hard. When I tell you I worked my tail off, I got my MBA while working my second full-time job after college, and I was getting this MBA the whole time I was working. And I don't know if I have any grad students watching who working while getting your graduate degree, but imagine, how rigorous the program is when you're doing it full-time, just how much more, rigorous and time consuming it is when you're also working and going to school, getting your MBA full time. It was a time constraint for me. I really didn't have a life getting my MBA and working at the same time. But nonetheless, I got that. And I climbed the corporate ladder. I was able to have roles created for me. Like I said, I had great leaders who poured into me, different leadership skills. They gave me feedback on, just things that I needed to look out for, things that I needed to have in my purview when thinking about my next career move. And, throughout that whole time, climbing the corporate ladder, getting promoted, getting, the attention I needed from a work standpoint, it was leading me essentially to burnout. And that's exactly what happened. I reached a point where I felt like I was doing everything that I could possibly do to progress my career, to get promoted. And only thing I got from that was being super stressed out. I was eating out all the time. I was gaining weight. None of this stuff made me happy. I wasn't feeling like climbing the corporate ladder was giving me or yielding to me the benefits that I initially thought it would, right? Because growing up, I thought, okay, great, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna, do what I need to do to get promoted, while working hard and, adding value to any team, department, or organization that I'm at, no matter what role it is. And I did that. But there came a point where me doing that no longer yielded me satisfaction. It no longer fulfilled me. And that is when I realized that since this isn't working, it allowed me to also realize that I was the only one who could change it. So in 2014, 2015, I really did a look in the mirror and said, this is not who I want to be, and I'm the only one who can change it. So what do I need to do? Okay, I need to re-empower myself, right? Because again, I had been getting all of this feedback and development from other leaders, right? About what they've done to succeed in corporate America, what they've done to grow and develop. And yes, all of that helped me to be the person I was at that time, which was a great person, but just an unfulfilled person. So I needed to tap back into Charlene myself, right? I needed to do the work for myself to identify what fulfilled me. I needed to take my power back and re-empower myself by taking my development into my own hands and ensuring that I got what I needed, not just from a career standpoint, but emotionally, physically, spiritually. All of those things truly mattered to me when it came to fulfillment. And so I really had to turn back to God. And that is when I got baptized. I just really changed my perspective on life. I just really said, if I take my power back, then I have control. I can create the life I want. Now, I never said I'd do it alone. Of course, my faith, right? That's why I got baptized, right? And I knew that God had more for me. I know He had a life of abundance for me, a life where I could experience more joy. And that is what I wanted. So I sought out coaches. I wanted to really tap into who are the experts out here who I can resonate with, whose stories sound like my story that can help me figure out what is the right next step, because I realized this isn't working. I want more fulfillment. I want more joy, and I want a better version of me. And I know she's in there. How do I get it? And so, like I said, I looked for experts. I did what any millennial probably would do. I turned to Google. So I thought of 2 to 3 words that I felt like really described me, right? And so I thought that I was a high achiever. I thought I was a top performer. I felt like I was dependable. I was responsible. I was value add. I was a leader, right? And I literally led from the front, And so I stood out amongst my peers, no matter what role I was in. And I think I put in Google performance or high performer is what I put in there. And lo and behold, this book comes up by Brendon Burchard called High Performance Habits. The description of the book fit me to a T. When I tell you I found this book, it was the first book that came up in the search. And I was like, oh my God. I'm reading more and more about it. I'm looking at the write-up about it. Then it takes me to Amazon. And it says that, he's offering this book for free. You just have to pay shipping and handling. And at that point, I was sold, I'm like, okay, high performance habits. I'm a high performer, maybe I'm missing some habits that would allow me to reach greater achievements, that would allow me to sustain achievement that I was having and reach the next level without burning out, without the fatigue, without the frustration. Maybe this guy knew something that I didn't, right? And so I ordered the book, long story short. And, I get the book, to be honest with you. I get the book and I sit it on my coffee table. And this coffee table, my couch is around the coffee table. So I see this book every day. And I thought, okay, well, if I see the book every day, I'm obviously going to read it, right? Pick it up and read it, right? Not the case. So it wasn't until 1 year later when my significant other saw this book on my coffee table and he's like, oh, what is this book about? And I was a little bit embarrassed because, again, that book had been sitting there for a year. It was the book that, that night I felt really in a low place, and I was searching for something that could help identify who and how I felt at that moment. And I ordered this book because I wanted what was in it. But like I said, it sat on my coffee table for 1 year before I even picked it up. And it took someone asking me, what is the book about, before I felt embarrassed. And that embarrassment triggered me to read the book, right? Has that ever happened to you where you're in a moment, right? And you're like, okay, I feel really low. What can I do? And you actually take action and you go and you search for what you need, and let's just say it arrives. If it's a book, in my case, and you get the book and you're just sitting there with the book. You don't open the book to see what's in it. You don't try to read it and take the pieces that really resonate with you so that you can take the next level of action for yourself. You ever sat on something that you knew would elevate your life, that you knew that would elevate your career or your business? Have you ever sat there with that? Well, I know this resonates with some of you out there. And I'm going to tell you, I was one of those people too. But I knew that I needed to read this book at this moment. So I read the book. The more and more I read the book, I was just turning the page like, yes, absolutely. Prolific outcomes. Yes, that's me. Everything Brenda was saying in that book was just on point to a T. He's talking about coaching. He's talking about questions to ask yourself, but also questions to ask your clients. And then all of a sudden, he starts to talk in there about the High Performance Institute. And he starts to say more about, getting certified in high performance coaching. And at that point, the rest is history. I read more about the certification, and actually someone from Brendon Burchard's camp, someone from his team, contacted me and was like, oh, we saw your page and, we really loved it. It looks like you would really benefit from our certification. What are your thoughts on enrolling in one of our classes? Because Brendon's going to be teaching this live and you get to be there with him live to receive this training and get certified. And I thought, okay, this kind of came to me again. It came to me. I didn't go, I read the book, but I had not yet taken action to go and look more into the certification or to even get the certification. But it came to me. Someone contacted me about the certification and I said, let me think about it, right? Because it's an investment. It's an investment to get this advanced coaching framework and this system, and to learn this and to be in contact with people who are high performers, let alone the person who created it, Brendon. So after probably a few weeks of just thinking about it, about how it would add value to me, but also how it would add value to my new coaching business. Because at this time, I'm like, I'm going to start this business. And all of a sudden, the decision was made. Yes, I'm going to sign up for the certification. I signed up, I made my investment, and here I am certified high performance coach by the Brendon Burchard. And I'm super excited. I am 100% confident in the framework that I have that will lead not just myself, but my clients to heightened levels of clarity, to heightened levels of achievement at the next level, but also sustained achievement, which gets me into, what is high performance coaching anyway, right? What is it? High performance coaching is all about not just achieving high performance, meeting your goals and succeeding your goals for a time frame. It's about sustaining that achieved performance, that high performance over long periods of time. And who doesn't want that for themselves? Because how many times have you done something really great and then all of a sudden, you have these peaks and these deep valleys of performance and you're like, God, I wish I could just be, consistent. I just wish I could experience this more consistently throughout the year in my business. I wish I could experience this more consistently in my career or in my relationships. I just wish there was more consistency in how I achieved. And so that is what high performance is. It really teaches you from every aspect and every arena of life how to sustain your achievement, no matter life, career, or business, for the long term and over a long period of time. And it has truly changed my life for the better. I've done a 360 or a 180, and how I really approach relationships now. I had to make some really tough decisions, about who I allow in my circle, because there is this thing called energy. And I'm not just talking about physical energy. I'm talking about mental energy as well. So the psychological as well as the physiological energy is important to your well-being, which allows you to then go out and perform at heightened levels. So how are you protecting your energy, both physically and emotionally and mentally? How are you protecting it today? Are you drained? Is there someone who's attached to you who is draining you, like literally draining you? I'm not talking about just draining, like people talking about, people draining your bank account. They're draining your energy bank. Your well-being is at stake because they are attached to you in some way that is draining. I saw something on social media one day that said, I'm at a point in my life where I want reciprocity. If I'm giving, I'm expecting you to give back the same or more, right? I'm expecting this to be a balanced, healthy relationship where it's not give and take, where it's not, give and take, where it's more so everyone's, mutually benefiting from the relationship. And so with that said, it's just that time. It may be time for you where you need to do an inventory of your habits as it relates to your relationships. Maybe you need to do an inventory of your habits as it relates to how you're seeking out getting that next promotion, or how you're approaching elevating your business to the next level. Because many times the way we get to the next level requires a totally different set of habits than we had at the current level we're performing. And I know as high achievers, we think, oh my God, we can do it. We did it before, we can do it again. Yes, you can. But now your learning has to be heightened. You need an elevated skill set. And how do you get that? And that's what high performance coaching delivers. It allows you to learn and tap into the best version of yourself at a heightened level, giving you that heightened level of achievement. And I just have the best time in my life, like I said, and experiencing the different things I get to experience. Again, launching a new business and being an entrepreneur is all in and of itself a tough task, let alone trying to take on clients and deliver excellence for your clients, And so it feels really good when you have a framework that without a shadow of a doubt will work for your clients. Not just because you heard it works but because it's worked for you. And so with that said, that's what high performance is all about: achieving the success and sustaining it over long periods of time. So if high performance coaching is something, that you feel would be beneficial to you, then I want to tell you the signs of how you know for sure. One is, are you feeling like you've done everything you possibly can do to succeed, but you're hitting a brick wall? Like you're literally, you may have already sought some guides by yourself, you've read some self-development books, or you may have just read some articles or looked at some podcasts or YouTube videos or whatnot, and you said, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this on my own. Great, I'm glad you did it, but you're hitting a brick wall. It's not working, right? You need the expert with you. It's not enough just to watch the podcast or to read the book or to take the quiz. You need the actual coach with you to walk you through the steps of high performance, the steps to achieve the next level, because this type of work is intentional work. It's work that requires you to challenge yourself and someone to challenge you. And so that requires that one-on-one time with someone. And so other ways that you can identify that it's time to reach out to a coach is you're frustrated and fatigued. And again, this is decision fatigue, but also physically fatigued, right? You have, over the course of a day, there's so many decisions that we have to make. I can only imagine that if you feel like you're not only making decisions for just you as an individual, but if you have decisions to make on behalf of your family, then you have to go to work, you have to make decisions, on behalf of your team or your function, or if you're a CEO of your company, it's so much. And you just become fatigued. If that's you, then it is time to reach out for a coach. Some other ways are you're starting to resent and regret your work. So how many of you feel you're doing what you're passionate about doing? Or how many of you at one time you really did like what you do, but you felt that over time that has deteriorated, that passion for it is deteriorating, and you no longer have that zeal for doing this work. It is time to get an expert coach to help you figure out, okay, what is happening here? Okay, is it truly that you are not passionate about it, or is there something else going on that is preventing you from getting to that next level in that role or career or in your business? And a coach will help you walk through that. Some of the other things are that you may feel if you need a coach would be things that were once easy feel very, very hard. Like this used to be something you could just really do really quickly. Now there's like 5 to 10 different things that going on in your mind because of you're being distracted, and you just can't get that easy task done anymore. You either don't have time, or you're just, again, fatigued, or there's just too much thinking behind it that you don't want to do it, and you begin to procrastinate. How many does this resonate with anyone? Because it has to. I have done all of these things, and I have been helped through high performance coaching. Truly has changed who I am, how I approach life. You also may struggle to ask for help or reaching out for a coach. Sometimes it's hard to ask for help because oftentimes as high achievers, we feel we're deemed as the person who knows everything, right? People come to us for information. They come to us for answers. We hold the key. And oftentimes it's hard for us to ask for help because of that. And so if you just let someone in, if you let someone help you, let someone help you discover your passion and your purpose. Let someone help you figure it out and figure out what walls you have up that are keeping you from moving forward, such as that procrastination I mentioned earlier, or it could be fear, limiting beliefs, or that word, that word that's come up quite often here, which is imposter syndrome. What is it? What is blocking you? What walls are coming up for you that you either don't see, you can't, or you don't know how to call it or name it? An expert coach can help you name it. And when you're able to put a name to something, then you are able to take the right approach to removing those walls and tearing them down and replacing them with habits that serve you. So this coaching program, if you're leading coaching, right, and you've identified those things, you're ready for transformation. Getting your energy back, feeling more creative, executing on your plan instead of having it in your mind, one day hoping you're going to write it down and it never happening. Half of the things that we think about around our purpose and our passion is still in our minds. I bet there's something out there right now that you thought about 2 or 3 years ago, and probably today someone has already done it. Someone has invented it. Someone has, come up with the idea or expressed the idea verbally and actually taken action on it. And you're probably like, God, I thought of that. I thought of that a couple years ago, but you never took action on it. So executing on that plan, feeling more confident that the work you're doing is bringing you closer to your goal. That's important, because when we feel like we're working towards no end, that's no fun. That's no fun at all. So the work that you do will be work that moves you closer to your goal and your achievements, and not just busy work. My mission is that, we'll do tasks that move you forward, not just busy work. One decision, one action, one achievement at a time. And I mean that. As long as you're transparent with me in your sessions, we're going to move you towards your goal. And this isn't just a goal that, is going to benefit you in this one area. The skill sets you'll develop through high performance coaching, you can apply in all of life's arena. Like I said, your career, your business, or just your relationships, life in general, finances. So this is truly beneficial work, truly transformative work for sure. So when we write a goal, sometimes we immediately want to feel like we've accomplished it, right? That's kind of how we feel like we feel motivated about it. So when we're able to see the goal, we want to think of how it feels to have achieved it, right? We feel like that motivates us, and it does, it works, right? But we forget, or we don't know how to figure out the small steps that will get us there, right? It's hard to figure out and get excited about those little things we have to do, because there's so many sometimes, right? There's so many little things that it takes to get us, from, to this goal right here. Like there's sometimes several steps that we need to go through. And that can also be, that could be demotivating, for some of us. It could cause some of us to want to procrastinate more and ultimately not do it. So we don't want that. A coach can help you figure that out. Now, how do we accept these small steps we need to take towards a bigger vision? How do we accept it? How do we celebrate those small steps? That is what coaching, high performance coaching with me, is going to help you do. Celebrating those small successes and getting excited about your journey towards your goals, because that's what it is. This journey in life towards your goals, towards your purpose. If you really want to get to the bigger picture, you need to celebrate those small steps and let them energize you and propel you forward. Okay? If your goal is sales, celebrate booking and hosting the sales call, even if it doesn't close. You're still building relationships and building influence. 6 deliberate steps are going to get you there. And those 6 deliberate steps I'll talk more about in episode 2. So be sure to tune in, because those are the 6 habits that are foundational pillars for high performance. Having the physical and psychological energy will get you there. How do you know it's time? Now, I've explained a lot of ways to identify it. How do you know it's exactly time? Well, not only by those things I listed to you about how to identify when you're ready, but you know it's time when you don't know what else to do. When you're like, okay, I don't know what else to do. I'm in my head about it. I don't know what else to do, and it's causing you to do absolutely nothing. I want us to get out of that habit where we don't know what to do, so we don't do anything. It's like you're stuck in nothing land, and doing nothing is not helping you, and it's not helping the people who are tied to your purpose. So when you know it's time is when you don't know what else to do. You feel stunted by the thought of making the next decision or taking the next step. When you're tired of hitting roadblocks and you're ready to make lasting changes, you're ready. It's time. That's how you know it's time. When you're ready for true transformation of self, that's what high performance coaching is. It's so much greater than you just achieving a goal. It's so much greater than reaching success. It's transformative. This is going to help you live life more abundantly and create the life of your dreams. When you're ready to change the way you see life, you're ready for high performance coaching. You want to see how you can turn everything into a positive and to fail forward. You're ready for high performance coaching. These are the signs of how to know you're ready. And I got to tell you, I got a feeling that a lot of you out there can resonate with these things I've listed about how to identify when you need coaching and how to know when you're ready for coaching. And I just want to let you know that if this does resonate with you, I'm accepting one-on-one coaching clients, and you can book a free 1-hour strategy coaching session with me. You can find the link in the show notes. This is a truly transformative session that I offer complimentary for all of my clients because the transformation starts on that call. Like, you literally leave from that coaching call knowing what you need to do next. You leave with a greater zeal for life, with a greater perspective on what has been giving you, blocking your path. You're clearer already just from that one session with me about what you need to do next. And so I like to offer that to you. Again, click the link in the show notes for more details on that, because I want to get you living a life and creating a life of your dreams and living life more abundantly. Guys, I thank you so much for tuning in to episode 1. I encourage you again to read the show notes and subscribe wherever you download your podcast. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Habit of Living podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend so we can grow our community. It would also mean the world if you left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you want to connect one-on-one, follow me on Instagram at I am Charlene Jefferson or on LinkedIn at the link in our show notes. See you in the next episode.